There are lots of channels, very good channels on YouTube and the internet in general, that make fun of feminists, and they are hilarious because there's just so much material that feminists are giving the internet. And feminism is just so irrational and so ridiculous that they are just begging to be made fun of. And there are a lot of very, very good channels that oblige. I'm thinking of channels like Sargon of Akkad, of Bering, of V. They look at a lot of the things that feminists say and just make fun of them, just take the piss out of them for good reason. And I mean, quite frankly, it's one of my favorite indoor sports. I mean, it's right up there with, like sex, squash, making fun of feminists. Those are my favorite indoor sports. Not necessarily in that order, because sometimes just making fun of feminists is more fun than getting laid, frankly. But anyway, in all seriousness, it's fun to make fun of these foolish people. But it actually doesn't help us. Because, see, there has to be something about feminism that appeals to women, or else there would be no feminists. Now, it pays us to try to figure out what it is about feminism that draws these women into it, into its clutches. Feminism, and make no mistake, is a pernicious influence on our society. It is actively causing damage to our society. It is encouraging young women to forego family life. And this is causing demographic issues in the Western democracies, Europe, the United States, Canada. This is serious. This is not a trivial little philosophy. It's not, like Shriners or something like that doesn't really affect anybody. Feminism is hurting our society overall. So it pays us to figure it out. Now, as I said before, if feminism did not appeal to women and appeal very deeply to something very profound in women, then there would be no feminists. We wouldn't be having this conversation. So, this is a first approach to sort of like categorizing women who become hardcore feminists. I've looked around the internet, not that closely, and I can't seem to find anybody who's gone out of their way to figure out what kind of women, what sort of women, become hardcore feminists. So this is, I suppose it's a first approach. And it's my own approach, and it's based on observation, on inference, a little bit of conjecture, but not because of that is it invalid, okay? Like I said, this is just a first approach, but I think it's helpful, all right? Now, it seems obvious that the first kind of woman who's attracted to it are these unattractive, often overweight women who are at the bottom of the sexual marketplace ladder. These are women who simply do not attract any men because men find them just completely unattractive. Even the lowest men, the most omega of the bunch, does not want to be with them. Now, before the sexual market was deregulated, these women would find a husband. Because a lot of times these not very attractive women, these overweight women, they have other qualities that are beneficial to a marriage. For instance, they're good mother material, they are industrious, they are hardworking, they would keep a good house. In the past, their social network, their church, their families, the people around in their social milieu, they would encourage these women to find a mate, and they would find somebody, and they would build a family and be happy. Now, these women in our current sexual marketplace are rejected because in this free-for-all state of nature of the sexual marketplace that we're living in, an unattractive woman is dismissed out of hand, and no matter how good her qualities are, nobody pays attention to them. Okay. Look at feminists. So many of them are these sorts of women. Because, of course, these women in feminism find a cause for their loneliness and rejection. Yeah? It's the patriarchy. It's the evilness of men. Yeah? They don't have to blame themselves or look at themselves and understand that they are unattractive. They can blame somebody else, because we all want to be blaming somebody else. We never want to face our own mistakes. We never want to face up to the fact that we did something wrong and that our fate, our destiny, sad as it may be, is because of us. Nobody wants to ever do that, and these unattractive women are no different. And so they latch on to feminism because feminism gives them a mythos, an irrational explanation that is emotionally satisfying. Because it's not that there's a patriarchy out to get these women, but it feels good to be the victim of something else, something outside that is causing these women to be so unhappy. And so these women devote their lives to feminism, these unattractive, overweight women who can't find a mate. And, examples of this are legion. I'm thinking Andrea Dworkin, Elaine Showalter, Trigglypuff. Who could forget Trigglypuff? I mean, that woman is classic. That's the first kind of woman. Now, the second kind of woman is different. She is moderately attractive to sometimes very attractive, but she has a very domineering personality. Yeah, she is a woman. You could say it that she has high T count or something, or whatever you want to call it, but she is domineering and forceful. And she seeks an alpha male to match her domineering forcefulness. Yeah? Now, of course, what happens is that, most men do not want a forceful, domineering wife or mate for a very simple reason. Most guys, we go out into the world, we slug it out with our peers. We're slugging out for dominance on the job, in this business, and this and that, the other. Yeah? When we get home, we do not want to be challenged. We just want to relax. We just want to recover so that the next morning we get up, kiss the wife and kids goodbye, and go off into the world to slug it out some more. We don't want to come home to some woman who is challenging us. Who needs that? Yeah? Now, these women who are domineering, who are very capable, okay, these are capable women, yeah? They are rejected by the sexual marketplace. And so again, they find consolation in feminism. What does feminism always say? Oh, those men, they can't accept strong, challenging women, independent women. Well, yeah, because who wants to be around such a person? Nobody. I mean, who wants to be around somebody who's challenging you all the time? It's no fun at all, I mean, nobody wants to have a romantic relationship that is a perpetual challenge. So these women are rejected. They don't want to go with the beta male who does accept her, because have you noticed that a lot of these challenging and quote unquote difficult women, they wind up with a beta male who puts up with all their bullshit. Yeah? Why? Because the beta male can't find any other option. There's nobody else around that'll go for him. Okay, so he puts up with her because she's the best that he can find. And she knows this. The strong, domineering woman knows this, and she doesn't like it. She doesn't want to be with a beta male. She wants to be with a strong alpha male who can put her in her place. But she has been educated to believe that a man who puts her in her place is a man that she does not want. It is precisely that she wants, which she is not getting, that gets her these beta males who don't challenge her, put up with all her crap, and she's miserable about it. Yeah? Examples of this are legion as well. I mean, think of women like, Simone de Beauvoir. Think of, the woman from the Golden Notebook. What's her name? Doris Lessing. All sorts of women like this. Very capable women who find no outlet for their abilities, for their domineering personality. Now, these are women who ordinarily would have made very strong matriarchs, but they are not finding a place for themselves in the deregulated sexual marketplace, and so they are gravitating to feminism. And feminism teaches them that they should indulge in their overly aggressive, domineering personalities. Now, this further alienates them from potential mates, while further cleaving them to the ideology of feminism. Okay? Now, the third kind of woman that I've noticed is actually very interesting. These are sexually provocative women, very attractive women, who use feminism as an ego inflation tool. It sounds really weird. Let me explain the idea. These are very attractive women who gravitate to feminism because in feminism, they are the center of attention. Now, examples of these sorts of women are legion. I'm thinking Naomi Wolf, Susan Faludi. Susan Faludi's book, Remember Backlash, which was an incredibly idiotic book, but I remember when she was doing all the press junkets for that book. She was so attractive. She was hot, you know? So everybody wanted to interview her. Look at Angelina Jolie. You know, an empty-headed little Hollywood starlet, you know, nobody, yeah? But everybody pays attention to her ridiculousness. Look at Emma Watson. Emma Watson is like the poster girl for this sort of woman. She is a sexually attractive young woman who, by becoming a feminist, adds credibility to herself. That's one of the principal reasons that these very attractive young women become feminists. Because in every other endeavor, intellectual endeavor, you actually have to work to become good at it. If you want to be a writer, if you want to be a historian, if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a lawyer, if you want to be whatever, you have to work a lot to be good at it, to be taken seriously. See, there's a certain kind of narcissistic young woman who is extremely attractive. She is narcissistic because of her attractiveness, because all of her life she's been told how attractive and pretty and wonderful she is. She's the little princess. Now this woman, when she gets to a certain age, college age, she realizes that there are people much more capable than she is. So, what does she do? She wants to have the gravitas of something besides her beauty. So she latches on to feminism. Feminism, which is just a bunch of bullshit. But it sounds profound. It's not, of course, as anybody reasonable will recognize. But feminism gives her intellectual gravitas, gives this beautiful little princessy snowflake some seriousness. That's why they go for feminism. Like I said, the examples are legion. And these women, they exploit their looks and exploit feminism to give themselves intellectual gravitas. And the other women in feminism put up with them because these women garner attention. I mean, look at Emma Watson. I mean, like I said, she's a poster girl for this type of feminist. She is an attractive woman. She shows up at the UN and gives some ridiculous speeches about feminism, and everybody pays attention to her because she's hot. Yeah? So feminism gets something out of these sorts of girls, which you can find in every college campus. Look at every college campus. Look at the leadership of the feminist movement on campus. You're always going to spot one or two incredibly attractive young women who are near the top of the leadership positions. They're not actually doing the work. It's the frumpy ones, the ugly ones that I mentioned before, and the overly aggressive ones. Those are the ones who are doing all the actual work. Yeah? But these beautiful ones, these little princessy snowflakes, they show up at the last minute and like, huh, here I am, ta-da, you know? And it's so amusing, it's so repeatable. Look, it's all around you. You can't miss it. Now, these three types of feminists, yeah, they are, this is just a first approach of it. But I think that if you start looking around, you'll start to recognize the phenotype of the feminist movement. There are women who gravitate to it, and they are fulfilling an emotional need. Always remember that. They are fulfilling an emotional need by joining feminism. Now, I think the way to defeat feminism is to somehow identify these women and show them that the emotional need that they feel is being fulfilled by feminism can be fulfilled by other things, other more important transcendental things. I think that that would be the best way to approach women, especially women in leadership positions in feminism, and get them to break away from feminism. Because at the end of the day, feminism is a cancer on our society, and we have to cut it out. And the approach I'm thinking takes time, of course, but I think in the end is much more useful and beneficial for society as a whole. Because crushing feminism is not going to help. What we have to do is we have to get women who are entertaining the notion of joining feminism to laugh at it and to look at how ridiculous it is, and also to find ways that they can fulfill those emotional needs by other means that do not involve feminism. This is just an idea I have. If you think it's full of shit, say so in the comments. And if you like it, press that like button, and I'll see you next time. Hi, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please upvote it. And if you like my other material, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.